Well, the season's over. Time to give my little short review on how my feelings about the season and how it ended. I want to give a little grade card on all the players and coaches and what I feel, how the season ended, and we'll go on some notes about playoffs and things like that. So, first of all, Jim Caldwell, he came in. He said, here's the team, here's what you got to work with. I want a winning season, and I want to go to the playoffs. That's what he said, and that's what he promised he was going to do with the GMs, and the Fords, and what they gave him. And in my opinion, I think he did a great job. Now, he a little over conservative at times, like the first game of the year, we played the Giants. Total non-conservative game, just blew him out of the water. And I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be like this all year. No, then the conservative side said it. Conservative the whole game against Carolina and lost. So we saw two parts, what the Lions can do. And the Lions are down, they're aggressive. And aggressive, they're non-stoppable. I haven't seen any team stop them. But when they're in that over-conservative mode, the worst team in the world on offense. Now our defense stayed strictly great throughout the year, and that was awesome. I've never seen the Lions defense that well. So on that note, let me give you the grade card of the team. Alright, so we got Jim Caldwell. Like I said, he's over conservative at times, but he did a great, what Schwartz couldn't do, he was able to do, keep it consistent throughout the year, win the second half of the season, and go into the playoffs. Jim Caldwell couldn't do it. So on that note, I give him a B+ throughout the whole year. Next year, I think he'll do much better. He'll be able to put his team, his players into place on who he thinks he likes and who he knows will do better from the free agents and from the draft, and he knows who to get rid of, which I'll help him out on my list, so I hope someone shows him my video. Alright, so next, our offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, D all the way. He's the offensive coordinator, and you could not get this powerful offense going. I know this is his first year being offensive coordinator. He's the great grandson of Vince Lombardi, and he has a name, but whether they keep or not, I think the Fords are very forgiving. They want a Lombardi on the team, and he'll be it. So hopefully he'll get a swift kick in the butt and figure out what he's doing wrong. I'm just praying that's what he does. Terrell Austin, our defensive coordinator. Oh yeah, A+ all the way. This is the first time he was a defensive coordinator, and he's already getting calls from San Francisco, Atlanta, Buffalo for head coach position. I mean, he just went 1 year, and I hate to see this guy go. I mean, he's so talented, great schemes. Sue emphasizes him all the time on how well he coaches that defense. It's unbelievable. I'm sure it'd make a great, coach out in the NFL, but man, you're gonna have 1 year. So how are we gonna do next year without him? It remains to be seen. Hopefully it's someone we don't play. All right, so our offensive line. Now this is a little questionable. We had some injuries. Warford injured. Waddle. And then you had Dominic Raiola, that whole stomping thing, got suspended. So, our offensive line is struggling, whether it's through injuries or through just being stupid. It just couldn't protect Matt Stafford like it did the prior year. Last year he had the least amount of sacks. This year, not so good. So the offensive line, I've given a C on that, C+, just because you got to blame some on injuries, and we didn't have the backup or personnel to cover those positions. So All right, quarterback Matthew Stafford. I'm going C+ again. He's inconsistent, you know. Still throwing the ball over people's heads, short, but he's running around more. The offensive line's not holding up as well. So can you blame it on the offensive line? Can you blame it on him? And it's hard to say. A lot of people say, get rid of Stafford. No, there's no way we're going to get rid of Stafford, and no way would I want to get rid of Stafford. Have you seen the competition out there? There's nobody that would, what are you going to bring in? You know, Johnny Football? I don't think so. I'm sticking with Stafford, and we just have to work with him better, get him a better quarterback coach, and you know, show him how to do it. I mean, I think he does a great job at times, but he does, he didn't throw as many interceptions as he usually does, and majority of the time they're just batted balls that he gets picked. So it's not his fault, but he still does the way over the head deal. So whether he intends that or not, just to throw it out, who knows? Okay, Joy Bell, running back, B+. This is a kid who has been with the Lions for the last 3 years. He started out 2012, he had 414 yards. In 2013, 650 yards. And then this year he had 860. So he's gradually getting better. If we had, like I said, a better offensive line, maybe he can create holes a little bit better, break out a little bit better. So like I said, B+. I love this guy. He's a great guy. Huge Michigan. He's from Michigan. Huge fan of the Lions. He's having his dream career right now. Used to be security guard, you know, at Ford Field, Wayne State. That's where he played college. So he's a great guy, and I want him on the team, whether he be the first or the second running back. Now let's go on to Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush, he's got to go, man. D. I know he's got the injury bug. You don't know if he's going to be healthy. He had no big breakout tackles. He had a few rushing touchdowns within like 10, 15 yards. He displayed that in the playoffs. He got one there. But look at his stats. You know, in 2013, he had a great year. He had 1,006 rushing yards. This year, 297. You know, sometimes you get too old, you gotta roll. You know, it's like if we cut him now, he's still got a couple years left on his contract. But if we cut him, save 1.72 million on our salary cap. So I'd say get rid of him and just try to find someone better. Let's see, wide receiver Calvin Johnson, A-. You know, he drops balls from time to time. He still get injury. He has that ankle that not so great. But he still got over 1,000 yards, 1,077 yards, 8 TDs. Still good. People on the other team still worry about covering him. Great player. Let's keep him in. Wide receiver Golden Tate, A+ by far. He had 1,331 yards and 4 TDs. He took over Calvin Johnson's job when Calvin was injured. Great player. He never gets injured, and he gets hit hard too. And he just gets up like nothing happened. It's like unbelievable. And the backups, you know, the second, third string behind him, wants to come out and play, haven't played all year. You know, so yeah, keep him. Give him whatever he wants. Keep that guy forever. Put him on the special teams too. See, tight ends. You know, Brandon Pettigrew out. He's got to go. He's not that good. He's only caught like a handful of balls all year. He's plagued with injuries, and he's a good blocker, but not that good of a receiver. Eric Ebron, you know, he's getting better. You know, sometimes he'll drop the ball. It's true, he's a rookie. He's still learning the ropes. I think he'll be our future guy in the future. And Joseph Fourier, well, he'll probably be the backup, which I like him better. He has great hands. He just can't block that well. So go with Fourier and Ebron, get rid of Pettigrew out the door. Special teams, we're giving them an F. There's no doubt. Just too many muff punts, return back for kickoffs, missed field goals. We went through they're on a third kicker before we got a decent one. Then, you know, like in the last 3 games, the Chicago game, gave them 14 points, you know, from our special teams. Green Bay gave them 14 points, special teams, and then of course the Dallas game where we muffed a punt and ran into the kicker, things like that. So we got away with that running into the kicker. and Ross, what are you coming out of the end zone, gets tackled at the 4-yard line? What kind of kickoff is that? He's got to go too. So F on special teams, definitely fire. What's his name? John Bonamago, bald head, short white guy. He's got to go. He's been with us for 2 years, and he's just horrible. It wasn't good last year. It wasn't good this year. Got to go. Bye bye. All right, and our defense, obviously A+, straight down the line. With Nick Fairley out half the season, we still we're number 2 defense, especially in the run. Our pass could have been better. Sue Anza, great on the defensive line. Whitehead, Levy, you know, they played great middle linebackers. With Mathis and Slay, those are the ones, you know, they rotate them in. Those 2 are the good ones. And then you bring in the other 2 secondary, and those ones seem like they always give up the pass play. And the Digo, is that his name? And Quinn, our safeties, excellent. They're a great duo. Had Quinn, you know, obviously from Houston, had a lot of interceptions this year. I think both of them had the best safety interceptions of the NFL as a duo. All right, let's talk about the lines in general. You know, it seems like the Lions, when we get in that aggressive mode, we can score a will. There's no problem, you know, like in Dallas game, touchdown, touchdown. Then we get down, you know, it's like, we'll kick a field goal. Then we'll go into conservative mode. This is how I know when we start conservative mode. Joint bell, first down, run up the middle. Every single play. And if I know this, that means the opposing team knows it. Never gets any yards, always gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. And then after that, it's a screen play, either to the receiver or to the running back outside, running outside on the sidelines. That's down number 2. And down number 3 is usually short of the first down, either a slant pass or something on the outside where they stop and go. That's third down, and usually we don't get it, and we punt. And if we do get one of those, then we start that same series again, you know, first, second, third down. It's just so bad. But when we're in the aggressive mode, we can score it well, and that's what killed me most. I mean, us as a fan, we want to go there and see it 48-0. We don't want to go there and say, hey, that was a nice conservative set of downs there. You know, no. We want it 48-0. Keep with the aggressive mode every down, every series, all the way through. I don't care. Bring Matt Stafford back to 5,000 yards per season, and I'm happy. All right. Some other players I hadn't touched. George Wynn is, I think, a 4th-string quarterback. He's a great running back, so I would like to see him come in more. Get rid of Bush, bring in George Wynn. Like I say, he's kind of a rookie. Has a great skill set. You know, I want to see him in preseason, which he just runs through defenses, no problem. Why don't we bring him in the regular season, see what happens? We brought him in 1 game, he looked excellent. What happened? I don't know. Jed Collins, you know, Caldwell loves to run, and he loves having a fullback, and he loves that guy for 1 yard. He's from New Orleans. Yeah, we can keep him. You know, he's had a few yards. He comes in short situations, hasn't failed us yet, so we keep him and you know, keep him on the roster. Dan Orlowski, yeah, our backup quarterback. Anything happens to Stafford, if he has to come in, get rid of him. He is horrible. He's the one that he's had the Lions 0-16. He's got to go. Kellen Moore, that's our 3rd-string quarterback. Excellent quarterback. Like I say, I only see him in preseason. He had the most preseason yards in an NFL quarterback ever. He's like 700-something yards. Yeah, he's a great guy. Let's put him in a regular season once, you know. Let's just jump out ahead, get aggressive mode, win it 48-0, bring in Kellen Moore and see what happens. You know, why not? Make him 2nd-string by far. And he was a little short, but, you know, hey, you know, so is Drew Brees. You See, Reggie Bush, yep, gotta go. Brandon Pettigrew, gotta go. Ryan Broyles, yeah, he's the guy that backs up Golden Tate. Really great wide receiver. Why didn't we see him? Because he backs up Golden Tate. A guy who never gets injured. Great wide receiver and everything. Let's see more play time with him. I'd love to see him. We don't need any receivers. And see more of Ryan Broyles. Overhaul the special teams. We definitely need to overhaul. Get rid of the coach. Get rid of everybody. Martin, he's a great punter, except for he chokes. He choked in the Dallas game, and he choked once before in the Cincinnati Bengals game. You get a 10-yard punt, choke, you know, and then they go down, score, and win. Never fail. Overhaul the offensive line. Yeah, it's time to remove those guys. Raiola, it's time for him to retire. He's getting old. He was a great player last year, not so good this year. We need some new, fresh blood in there, some really skilled offensive linemen. Protect Stafford a little bit better, so let's overhaul that. Now that Cowboys game, yes, it was pass interference. It's probably more of a defensive hold, which we gave us 5 yards and a first down. Let's say, you know, they called it, they should have kept with it. Then we got to the 30, and then, you know, if the refs were doing their job, you know, then I tack on the 15 yards, you know, from Dez Bryant coming out without his helmet. So that would have brought us to 15 in fantasy world, but, you know, none of that happened. And, you know, if the Lions, you know, Caldwell did bring the Lions up a notch. I mean, they went from lower half, you know, a 7-9 team to, you know, 11-5 team. Now, are we better than that? Are we 12-3 material yet? I didn't even think we're 11-5 material. So we're not an elite team yet. And I'm hoping Caldwell can get us to that level. So in games like Dallas game like that, he can come back and win with no problem. And be more of an elite team. We got the players to do it. And now we need the coaching staff to help guide them along to get a better season next year. So who knows what could have happened in that Dallas game. A lot of people speculate this, a lot of people speculate that. Either way, it's a refs with a bad call, either way. And it's a playoff game, a lot's going on. There's only so many referees can see everything. So if the Lions were destined to win that game, I feel, you know, they would have showed it in the skill, you know, and stop being too conservative. You know, you should have put the nail in the coffin, up 14-0, and made it 21-0. Then we wouldn't be having this discussion. Instead, we only scored 3 points in the second half, and no points in the fourth quarter. So hopefully we'll have a better team next year. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed my video. And stay tuned in this channel. I will review, even in the off season, after football is over, what's going on with the Lions. So I will see you later. Peace.